World Heavyweight Championship, Sheamus against Del Rio. Didn't really like it a whole lot. I was just kind of boring. I really didn't care about the match whatsoever.
I can tell you, this is the first time that I've ever fast forwarded a World Championship match.
You watched it when it wasn't live?
Yeah, and because I was working most of the time, so I couldn't really watch it. And when I had my first day off, first thing I put on was Money in the Bank, and I fast forwarded it on that match. I literally treated the match like a Divas match. It's no shame to Sheamus, but Del Rio is extremely bland as a heel.
Well, that and Sheamus is. I find Sheamus to be one of the most boring champions ever. Mark Henry was more interesting than Sheamus.
I like Mark Henry as champ.
And it's because from the way Sheamus started, from WrestleMania 29, they totally destroyed any momentum Sheamus had.
I think the problem is Sheamus's character doesn't work as good as a babyface. Because if he's supposed to be this brawler who, he's going to whoop the shit out of everybody, if you just have him whoop the shit out of everybody, nobody cares because there's nothing on the line. And if you see him
as a babyface in like FCW when he was there, he was much better because they allowed him to be himself. This way, they're just making him so fucking generic because he's literally Batista face.
Yeah, basically.
And it doesn't make sense. Right, being Irish Batista face, you don't need it. You don't need him to stand there and smile and all that crap. Because it doesn't help his character in the long run.
Nah, I think he needs to turn heel.
I don't think he needs to turn heel. I just think they really need to retool his character or allow him to go out and work the way Sheamus knows how to.
You know what else I think hinders the two of these working together is Sheamus being a baby face who beats the shit out of people and can take a beating against a guy like Del Rio who they're trying to make as he goes out there and he's this aggressive like shark kind of guy. If you have him look too aggressive, Sheamus looks like he's just getting his ass beaten.
Yeah.
And if you make it look like Sheamus is just taking all the beating like it's nothing, then Del Rio doesn't look like an aggressive threat. So they're kind of like in a lose-lose situation here. They can't really do too much. And then they don't have a whole lot of chemistry together. So you can't like you two go out and do it like you would with like Brett and Shawn. You know what I mean?
The standout of the match was Ricardo Rodriguez.
I didn't even remember.
He was the standout of that entire match, which is pathetic.
Well, Ricardo's awesome.
No, but I'm saying you've got two credible like main event guys here.
Yeah.
And the standout was the ring announcer.
Right. Now I'm sure that if we were all at the pay-per-view, we would be rooting for Ricardo over everybody else.
No, but what really gets on my nerves is the status of the World Championship has really been lowered since it's taken second fiddle to the WWE Championship. And it's supposed to be one of those titles where you test to see if the person can actually hold the big title,
Or if they're a solid B+ performer, you put them on there so they can run the B show.
Yeah.
Like when you did with the Mark Henry, where it's like, Mark Henry, he's got it, so let's put him on the B show and have him lead the B show. Or when Christian had it, or when, so on and so forth.
But that's the issue, and they need to literally think about, right, if this is the way we're going to go with the World Heavyweight Championship, we need to figure out who could carry the belt, and that's where they need a guy like Ziggler. That's where they need someone like Bryan, to tell you the truth. If he's not going to win the WWE Championship from Punk, then maybe they need to insert him in the World Heavyweight Championship picture and have him run roughshod on SmackDown, because it would be so much better in terms of character development, in terms of storyline, in terms of someone that they can actually revolve the brand around, rather than having someone like Sheamus as a babyface where you don't know what you're doing with him. And it's literally, it shows clearly they have no idea what they're doing with Sheamus.
And then after the match, they did the typical Del Rio beats Sheamus down. Ziggler comes out to possibly cash in, but
Yeah,
they had Del Rio stop him, and Sheamus just bro kicks him. So it's like, oh, Sheamus is, you're gonna have to watch out if you're gonna cash in on Sheamus, and it's
but
like,
that's happened 2 weeks in a row now because that happened on SmackDown as well, apparently.
right.
And you don't want to do that to your MITB guy, man. This is the guy that you're giving an opportunity to, because literally every person who's cashed in has won a world championship. Do you really want to treat the guy like that?
Yeah.
You need to make him a credible threat, Not since Rob Van Dam has anyone actually been a credible threat with their MITB case. Because with Rob Van Dam, he literally came in, he said, look, I'm cashing the title in, I'm going to win, and he won. Doesn't matter how he won, but, and they gave him the IC title and boosted the guy up to no end to give him that bit of credibility. So when he cashed in against John Cena, it was a big thing, With any of the guys they've had at the moment, they've just made him look really shit.
It almost seems like they give you the money in the bank, and then they job you out for 2 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
And the only person that they've actually that it's worked for, but I believe it's more credit to him than WWE's booking committee, is Daniel Bryan. Because they played this whole anti, protagonist thing with him, where he was like, "Oh, I'm going to cash it in at Mania. I'm going to get my title opportunity at Mania," and then did the exact opposite and turned him heel, which worked so damn well. And to Bryan's credit, look at him now. He's like in the WWE Championship title picture. He works so well with Punk, and he's like the number 2 heel in the company. Which is the way it should be. But in the same sense, that's not going to work with everybody. And you can't expect your talent to clean up the shit you're putting them in. I think as a saying goes, you can polish shit as much as you want, but that's still going to be shit.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about Daniel Bryan in the next part 6, WWE Championship match.